Leslie Chevalier, and today I'm going to be presenting my research to you. My research topic is investigating behavior interventions focusing on a token economy in the classroom with students with autism spectrum disorder. To introduce my topic, I'm going to take you through my research plan, how I came to my topic. So, how did my research begin? Well, I was presented with a question. What instructional or teaching method of autism spectrum disorder are you interested in? And my first thought was behavior interventions for students with autism spectrum disorder and how to effectively implement them. The next was, what problem do I see in my school that needs to be addressed? The most prominent behavior is defiant behavior that I'm seeing. It shows as kicking, hitting, running away from, kind of putting the student into harm's way or then putting another student into harm's way. So that's kind of why behavior interventions are important to me, is to kind of reduce or shape a new behavior. And then the next one is, how did token economy come to mind? My behavior specialist that works with our school district sat down with me and we investigated different behavior interventions. When we started talking about it, token economy came to mind. She discussed how whenever she was a special education teacher, she implemented it. So naturally I thought, someone that's in this position recommends it, let's research it and kind of discuss why. So the next step in my research was to prove that it influences theories and practice. So I connected it to my theories in behavior interventions, learning theories. You have to have your behavior manageable to learn. You cannot be every which way and learn. So my research topic is really learning because the student's behavior must be manageable before they can begin to learn. Valuable instructional time dealing with behavior gets lost. Antecedent behaviors or interventions were also discussed in here. I want to prevent the behavior before it occurs. So the next part of my research was researching a thesis, kind of discussing what my topic is going to be about. And that's how I focused my research. I kind of decided to talk about the effectiveness of a token economy, the components of a token economy, the types of token economy, the relation between offer and conditioning and a token economy, and how it compares to other behavior interventions. Another thing I had to think about was, who would my research be important to? You know, I'm thinking about myself, but also think about who else could use this information. So I decided that other teachers could use it, administration can use it to distribute to their staff, other professionals that deal with autism, occupational therapists, physical therapists, speech language therapists, development therapists, any of those professionals that work with these students can use this or implement this intervention. So, my next step is researching these topics. So my first one that I kind of dove into is the components of a token economy. I wanted to know what it was made up of. So what I decided, and when I researched it, is establishing a target behavior, having a token or a coin that serves the kind of physical aspect of it, and then backup rewards, you know, your extra reinforcements, and then the exchange. You know, you get your tokens, then you have this many tokens, there you go, there's your reinforcement. It's important. My next topic is the types of token economy. What I found was there were 6 different types. The first 4 are response to cost. It's used of negative reinforcements where you take away tokens. Lottery system token economy where the students earn tickets. And at the end of the period, then one person will win the lottery. Next is whole class or individual token economy, where students earn tokens as either a class or an individual, and then they get their reinforcement. The next is level systems. The higher rate of target behaviors exhibited, then the higher reward. Lower rate of target behaviors exhibited, the lower the reinforcement. The next type of token economy was focusing on interest-based tokens and then non-interest-based tokens. This study that they did over it, they both resulted in a decrease in negative behaviors and an increase in desired behaviors from both interventions. While the interest-based tokens did have a higher percentage, they both had positive results. So you can't really say that one works better than the other. Essentially, it just depends on the student that you're working with. But also it indicated that a token economy can assist in generalization, which is taking skills from the classroom to PE or the gym or art. Social skills, interactions, academic skills, and then shaping behavior in students with autism spectrum disorder. My next topic, which is relation between operant conditioning and a token economy. This is the psychological aspect behind it. Rockman discussed behavior therapies, cognitive behavior therapies, and the advances in the subject. We're mainly be talking about P.F. Skinner's research over operational conditioning, which served as the basis for the concept of token economy, which is reinforcement procedures that he built upon. So B.F. Skinner's work in operant conditioning proved that an individual can reshape a target behavior by providing the proper reinforcement. Display a desired behavior, then followed by a rewarding sequence. But then, if the person does not show the behavior, then they do not get the reward. And that's just how it works. Rewards are typically tangible items or edible items, small but effective enough for individuals to want to earn it. The next topic is the effectiveness of a token economy on students with autism spectrum disorder. So, the first one we're going to talk about is naturalistic development behavior interventions, kind of how it was affected in this study. So they discussed that keeping the reinforcements and the interventions naturalistic, which means natural in nature. You're not going to bring in a puppy if you're dealing with soccer where the reward is getting a ball. So making sure the interventions or the reinforcements matches the interventions setting. It supports that behavior interventions are effective in individuals with autism spectrum disorders. You need to start the interventions at an early age. That's one of their ideas that they presented. Schuberman discussed that operant discrimination model is beneficial to children with autism spectrum disorder, which we just talked about with B.F. Skinner's data. So, when the reward is naturalistic, they also reported that the research has proven it to be more effective with individuals with autism spectrum disorders. You need to make sure that the reinforcement is desirable, but not too desirable that it takes away from the desired behavior that you're wanting. The next study was done by Jones, Weber, and McLaughlin, which offers an in-depth look on the effectiveness of a token economy. They focused on the role of the teacher, the classroom management plan, making sure you implement it. You have to have consistency. Little to no time was required to implement it. The intervention did not adversely affect the students or interfere with their free and appropriate public education. So this just supports that it is effective in the classroom if implemented correctly. Next was Matson and Bergeron did research and review article about the application of a token economy in individuals with development disabilities focusing autism and intellectual disability. So past and present research were talked about using token economies. They influenced an importance on identifying target behaviors, knowing who needs the interventions, being flexible and effective. And it also talked about how you can implement it in a home or a school setting. All right. Next was a study using it as a behavior management tool. And that also just supported the fact that it is effective and it is focusing on your function of behavior. So next was a token economy compared to other behavioral interventions. There was a dissertation done by Britta Fiskville about the effectiveness of the behavioral interventions, and her results indicated that it decreased problem behaviors and effective engagement. The most effective was a token economy system, and then the combination conditions. Next was a different study done with different types of behavior interventions, which discussed antecedent-based, function-based, reinforcement, instructional interventions. All of them implemented, and they all decreased challenging behaviors. They said that they helped generalize relatable real-world situations for the students. So the next part is practical implications. How am I going to use what I've learned? Well, what I've learned is that token economies are effective for students with autism spectrum disorders. I'm going to implement an individual plan for my students. Who would benefit from this information? Other teachers that have kind of behavioral issues in their classrooms. They can implement these to be classroom behavior management tools. Administration, they can pass it out to their staff, hold meetings about it, educate their teachers on a token economy. Parents, take this home, implement in their own houses. Professionals, OT, PT, this will help the teacher. They stay on a consistent token economy schedule. And then the students, it helps improve their academics, their social skills. It gets them more involved. So, the next part is in closing, my application. As I told you before, I'm going to apply this in my own classroom with multiple students. My students with autism spectrum disorder, I'm going to implement a token economy, and then some of my intellectual disabled children too. Steps to improve teaching based on my findings. I'm going to share this with my other teachers. I want to improve the learning of my kids and the other students in these classrooms. This is not just for a special education classroom. This could be used in an inclusion classroom, a resource room. My next is my self-efficacy beliefs. And it's my belief that when implemented correctly with proper supports in place, a token economy can be beneficial to a student with autism spectrum disorder. The teacher and professionals associated need to be on the same page and remain consistent with the interventions. This will improve the fidelity of the strategy. All of the knowledge gained during this research has been valuable with deciding what to use with my students. My plan is to share all this information with my fellow special education and general education teachers. These are interventions all teachers can use in their classrooms. Teachers need to be aware that there are options available to them. And my next step is to share my research with my teachers. So, thank you very much for your time.